welcome once again. We are here on Living in the 21st Century. Joining me today is Lucy Pinada, Executive Director of Luma. Also joining me today is Maria Parpida, President of Luma. Ladies, I want to welcome you to Living in the 21st Century. I think this morning we have quite a bit to talk about. We want to talk about vaccines, a little bit on immigration, how the atmosphere has changed, etc. So, Lucy, first, let me ask a question. How is things going right now with Latinos here, immigration, opposed to the last time we speak, probably like 3 years ago? Um, how's the atmosphere changed? Is there any change?
I'm sorry, can you repeat it?
Sure. How is the atmosphere changed from the last time we have spoken on immigration matters here in the United States with Latinos and other folks? Is there any change right now, the atmosphere?
Okay, we have problems with the sun. Your question is if
Oh,
something have changed with our organization or with the immigration system.
okay, okay. I'll go again. The last conversation we had, we spoke on immigration matters that had been affecting Latinos, those who were here on DACA, those who were here from certain natural disasters and were sheltered by the government. The government were pursuing to get them out of the country. What I'm asking now, is there any change to what had been going on 3 years ago at this present point?
Well, the changes that we have right now on immigration issues is that the DACA recipients they already allow to renew the one they already have the work authorization cards. They are allowed to renew their work authorization cards, and also a new one they haven't applied and they have showed that they come to the United States before they turn 16 years old, and they need to be here before 2016 so they can qualify for the first time to apply for DACA. And the TPS, the Salvadorians, Hondurans, Haiti, and other countries, they have the opportunity to have an extension until October 4. So those recipients, those TPS recipients who already have their work authorization card under the TPS, the temporary protected status, so they can, if they want, they can request a new authorization card, or they can keep the old one automatic. It's already extended until October 4, but we already hear from the new administration with our new president Joe Biden that he has a good news for not only for the TPS, DACA, and families who's being applied for asylum. So we're waiting until the end of this year if we can hear any news from the Congress. We already know that the Joe Biden he have the power to give a new work authorization card for those 11 millions of families who's live in the country undocumented, those families who can approve that they've been good people. They provide to the economy to the United States. They pay taxes. They demonstrate a good moral character. Joe Biden, he has the power to give that opportunity, but we just waiting for the Congress if they approve the new law that the President Joe Biden sent it to the Congress. Uh, to allow the TPS, DACA, in asylum to apply for the citizenship, and also the new families who's living here undocumented. So in that package include those families who's never been applied to apply for a work authorization card for a 5 year. After 5 years, they need to wait 3 more years to apply for the citizenship. So we just waiting until the end of this year. Maybe we can get something new with the new administration.
Beautiful. And Maria, my question to you: what presently is your role as president for Luma? What are you presently engaged in and doing at this time?
Hi everyone. Yes, I got elected this past December, the last day of
Yes.
December, the January started this year, and I am very happy to be part of these organizations. I already have worked with the Hispanic community around my community here on island, but I am very, very happy and thankful with Lucy that she invited me to be able to be part of these beautiful organization that it's doing so much for the people and the minorities, especially our Hispanic community, Salvadorian community, and all from Latin America. I am originally from Mexico, so an immigrant. Came here since I was a little girl, 11 years old. So I do understand all the struggles that families go through because I saw it with my own family, my father and my mother. So being part of Luma, Latinos Unidos in Massachusetts, has been really giving me a lot of, the support and especially the opportunity to learn more about what they do. And being the president, it's a huge responsibility, but at the same time, it's giving me the opportunity to help others and learn more on what Luma especially has, on this pandemic, how hard it has been with all this, our community, the vulnerable people, and the Hispanic and the Black community have been the worst, the most affected.
Yes.
And having Luma there, knowing that families can call and reach out for food, for supplies, for, knowing that there's someone with other organizations, of course, knowing that there's someone that understands, someone that knows the struggles and that speaks the language, and that it's there to support in any way, even if they've been here for years or they just arrived in the country. All these kids, unaccompanied kids, they have families here, but some of them, they don't know the system. So with Luma helping them around, with the legal support, the immigration lawyer, and everything else, taking them to the schools, letting them know how to start and where to start. It's a huge thing, and I really appreciate Lucy for inviting me being part of this organization, because I have always liked what they do, and I have learned that we do need to be there and support. Once you are here and you have learned the language, of course, and then know how to navigate in the system, it's great to reach out and give back. That's my main reason to be able to be here.
Okay, well, that's great. One question I would love to ask you. I'm going to get to several things, including the vaccine and so forth. But I want to ask you this question. Over the years, the Latino community would have somewhat favored um, voting for administration, or the Republicans actually, who would have more put their lives in jeopardy and didn't really look out for their benefits and needs. Um, and then we know for a fact that under the past administration, that the Latinos and African Americans alike were castigated in many ways, the black people were called, their countries were called shithole countries. The Latinos were rated as those who come to this country to steal, to kill, and to rape, and that kind of stuff. And yet still they would have voted for an administration, several of them, that put them in power. Would you want to educate your fellow man that they have to be very cautious in who they vote for?
I'm going to go ahead, Lucy, and I'm going to answer this one because I think it's really important that we do take a step forward, not back,
Right.
and start being aware. The awareness is so huge and important to really take care and start thinking of what's the real thing, what's going on.
Yes.
And we don't know the stories behind the why, the reason why people are here. Immigration, it's ancient. It's been forever and it will always be. And there's always a reason. And I am not here to judge why people come or don't want to come. Because I have heard stories. I can tell you so many stories from immigrants that come here because their lives were in danger.
Yes.
They had a family, they have a business, they had a life, but there was something.
Yes.
Their corruptions back home, it's terrible. There might be good citizens, but if that's behind our backs, that's kind of hard, isn't it? And if there's 100 of people coming here, there's got to be a why, a reason. And it's great that organizations and the government's trying to figure it out and try to find a solution. But the best thing is to help those people that are already in there.
Absolutely. And I agree with you 100%. And I asked that question for the mere fact that I don't think that everyone should be judged based on a few people who may step out the law or become rebellious or not law-abiding. You shouldn't put everyone in a category and brand them as the same thing. And that's what basically what would have transpired years ago. But putting that aside, how is the vaccine situation going on right now at this point? Lucy, is the Latinos getting vaccinated equally?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't, I think in this pandemic, the government, organizations, everyone, we come together to help and support our community. It's not only Latino, everyone. Everyone, we can see since we take those tests, they never ask for any identifications, proof of address. They just want everyone to be safe, to be healthy. So in Luma, we've been registered since Thursday, around 70 people to get the vaccine for today and tomorrow. So we don't ask nationality, we just ask your name, your address, and then we set up an appointment. So I think this is good news. The pandemic for us, it's something that
Okay.
it's been a good experience because everyone we came and worked together to help everyone.
Yes. Well, I know for a fact that Latinos are very hard working people. I've seen that in my own eyes. And my question to you is there a large community of Latinos at this point who are impoverished, who are in poverty, who are homeless?
In Luma, we've been helping I'm not talking about Latino. I know Luma, the name is Latinos Unidos in Massachusetts, but it's not only, we don't help only Latinos. We help everyone. In this pandemic, we've been helped a lot of people from everywhere. I can say 65% Latinos. I can say 10% Haitians, and the rest from the other countries. And we've been helping with rent, to pay the rent, utilities, with food pantry. We've been helping with everything they need in this pandemic. So when I talk about Luma, is not only we help one nationality. Everyone who came to our organization, they need help, they need support. We help them. So I know the most people who've been suffer in this pandemic was our communities, the Black, the Latinos. It was the people who've been doing all the job, who was being in the first line, cleaning in the hospitals, cleaning beds, bathroom, etc. So are the one who been suffer in this process that we've been past for more than a year. So and the economic is being affected to everyone. It's not only the Latinos, to everyone, because we've been insulated for like almost a month. So it's not been easy. We've not been working. Some families, they've been received more money because we've been applying for a lot of programs for RAF. Also, in our organization, we've been receiving money from the Boston Foundation, United Way, and other sponsors, other partnerships who've been helping us to have all the resources for our community.
Beautiful. What is your medium to long term goals for your organization in terms of creating a wholesome atmosphere where not only Latinos but anyone from any other nationality can get help in its purest form, standpoint that it's a one done deal. Like, do you have lawyers, attorneys there that if a person needs an immigration attorney, we can say that this is the department you go to. If they're homeless, well, this is where you go to. You need clothing, that department you go to. Is there a detailed plan or long-term vision that you have for the organization right now?
Luma is been growing a lot. We we have 21 years already to provide these services to the community. So I think my dream is to have a big building, because
Yes.
we need in a space to have programs. We have a women's groups with more than 80 women's. We have programs for kids, after school programs, and we need a big space for other programs. Let's say for the youth, for kids, they want to be involved in different, let's say, soccer, in art, or any other programs they want to be involved. I think my dream it is have a building with more space for the ESL classes, citizenship classes, and also youth mother who's single mothers who they have kids and they don't have no babysitting. So that is my dream, and I think we've been doing a good job. This is not only Lucy. This is not only Maria. We have a lot of. Our team is a great group. A lot of people who are in the back of us who's doing a lot of work in this pandemic. We have around 70 volunteers who've been there with the food pantry delivering food to families who's been affected by the COVID. So I think eh, we're going in the right way with the support with the other members that we have, not only members, partnership like the names that I already mentioned. I don't know if I allowed to mention our sponsors, but also the mayor of Everett and the other authorities in the city, they helping us a lot with everything. The borough health department, the city inspectors, they they've been pick up all the garbage from the food pantry. They've been helping in everything. So I think everyone in Everett, we have shown that love, that respect, and we have shown that everyone is equal and everyone needs to be treated equal. So I think we're going in the right way. Maybe 3, 4 more years, we can get another space to provide a better services for our community.
Excellent. Very excellent. Tell me though, if a person who are not here completely legal, um, and they have got sick with a virus and need medical attention, um, what assistance do you offer to that person? How do they get medical treatment? Is there any protection plan in place?
Okay, we've been helping our unaccompanied minors and other families who don't have no insurance. We have a good relationship with the Cambridge Alliance, so they've been helping to apply for the insurance. And we just make sure that they treat them equal like everyone. And I know Maria Gonzalez, she's working for the Mass Health Department too. So I think we have a good relationship with those companies who's been helping our community, and we help them to fill up the applications, to make sure that they have all the documents. And not only the insurance, we help the kids, the unaccompanied minors. We're trying to educate them how the systems work in this country, that is totally different from the country they come. I'm not going to say from El Salvador, because we receive kids from everywhere, from every place in Central and in Latin America. So, but most of the kids are from the Central American, from Honduras, from Guatemala, from El Salvador, from Costa Rica. So we teach them how that they need to be more involved in the community. They need to go to school. They need to be involved in programs, and they need to do everything right.
Beautiful. One question. Either you or Maria can answer this question. So recently, they said that there were an influx of young kids going to the border, and obviously we know they are going there for support. They need help. They are like refugee kids. The right wing paint the picture that Joe Biden is soft, so now everyone is coming, and I think that's what the Mexican government would have implied also. I speak subject to correction. Is it that Joe Biden is soft, or is it that these are kids who definitely needs help and there's no other place to turn to but here, right here at the border of the United States of America?
Well, we came from, a last administration. We faced a lot of obstacles. What we saw in those 4 years, it was pretty tremendous. And seeing all of those families and all of those kids, incarceration, it's unhuman.
Yes.
And if Biden decided to release those families, those kids, I think it was a human thing to do. It was a human right to be free, reunite with their own families. And I think if he decided that it was the best thing, it was enough. I think it was or 3 years in a staying in a cage for anyone, for a kid.
Right.
It wasn't right. I mean, I know there's a lot of things they have to sit down and take decisions and take action. I think it's time. And we, Luma, support an amnesty or whatever they decide to do. Biden has signed an immigration
Reform.
decision. And we hope. Yeah.
I want you, we're about to wrap up, Maria, and I want you to make one plea to the president why it is essential that he don't overlook these kids, but give them the opportunity to become someone in this country as a legal immigrant. Make that plea to the government of the United States of America.
Well, I will not only just speak for the children, but the whole families. It's been decades trying to pass an immigration reform that is inclusive to support families that will support other families. All the kids that need, the support, to be home to be with their families, to be with someone they trust. I would ask not only the president, not only the representatives, I will ask everyone, every human being here on USA, United States, to be conscious, start working together, support the organizations that support the immigrants. They're suffering. We have to touch our hearts, sit down, start making decisions, promises don't help. I think it's time to take action.
Thank you.
Support the organizations. There's a lot of organizations out there that are trying to work. The advocacy day is coming up. We all have to talk to our representatives and ask them to support the immigrant rights, climate, the indigenous, the minorities. There's so much that we have to sit down and ask. We have rights.
Thank you. Well, Lucy, it was a pleasure having you on the show today. Unfortunately, we have to come to a close now. Maria, it's an honor to have you here, and I hope in the near future we can continue this conversation. It was really enlightening to the public. Until then, take good care and have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, the same, and thank you again for giving us the opportunity to be in your program. It's always a pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
So be safe. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye bye.